to Royalty Soaps. Today we are going to be making a soap with honey in it. I will be talking a little bit about how you can incorporate honey into your cold process soap creations, and I'm really pleased to say that the honey I am using today is from Sabine Creek Honey Farm, which is about 20 miles north of me, so it's as local as it can get. This honey is made using Texas wildflowers. It tastes super good, and the owner John has been working with honey and bees for many years. He is an expert in his field. So Sabine Creek Honey Farm is owned by John and his son. They run it together, so it's a family-run business. At one point in time, John was the president of the Texas Beekeepers Association, and on a national level, he was the executive secretary of the American Beekeeping Federation, so he knows his stuff. I think it's really cool to incorporate local ingredients into your soap, and I'm really excited about doing that today. So without further ado, let's make some honey soap. So here I have in my bucket pure oil. Nothing has been added to it yet. And here in this container, I have pure honey. It is so delicious. It's also very fragrant. This is a wildflower honey, and it does smell a little bit floral, which is really cool. Now there's multiple ways you can incorporate this into cold process soap. You can pour it in at trace after you have added your lye water. You can pull a portion of your water out and blend it in so it dissolves, or you can do what I'm about to do and dump it straight into the oils. I'm gonna use my stick blender to incorporate it as I'm pouring it so that nothing sticks to the bottom. So the minimum amount of honey you should add is 1 teaspoon per pound of oils, but you can add up to a tablespoon. I have chosen to use a little more than 1 teaspoon per pound of oils, which would end up being about 15 to 17, up to even 18 teaspoons. For me, that's 100 grams. You also want to work at the lowest possible temperature when using honey because it has a lot of sugar in it and will definitely heat up your batter. For this particular batch, as I pour the lye water solution, I'm going to blend. Now you can see my batter is still nice and runny at this point, which is a little bit different from some of the other honey cold process soap making tutorials you've probably seen. That's because those people are more than likely working with batter that has more water in it or is at a hotter temperature than mine. I'm just using my regular everyday recipe that you too can use. It's down in the description box below. I'm now pouring off 8 pounds of batter, and we're gonna use this as an accent color. Now to the smaller container, I will be adding some Golden Buddha mica. This is from Mad Micas, and it is a beautiful shimmery gold, and even after the cold process soap has saponified, it still sparkles, which is one of the reasons why I like this particular colorant. I will also be adding just a little bit of titanium dioxide to lighten up the batch. We're going for sort of a creamy light gold. And then into the large container, we're adding some Aztec Gold mica. This is from TKB Trading. This is my go-to gold. And if it's out of stock, because it often is, you can get it from Mad Micas under the name Goldfinger. It's basically the same thing. I'm going to begin by blending in the color by hand. This way I have to stick blend less because the fragrance oil combination that I'm using does tend to speed up trace, gets it a little bit thick. So I want to lessen the amount of time that I have to stick blend. Working with honey does not have to be a very scary adventure. I've seen a lot of horror photos out there of crystallized tunnels and people's soap batter and overheating and cracking on the top, and that just has not been my experience. Once again, if you keep your temperatures really low to begin with, at about 85 85 degrees for a honey soap, you're just not going to have that issue. Also, don't use too much of it. Don't go up to that 1 tablespoon per pound of oils. That will also add to overheating problems. I have added in my secret fragrance oil blend, and it smells like wildflower honey. It's like a floral, sweet honey smell. It's absolutely stunning. With our fragrance oil blended in and our color looking good, it is time to pour our light gold color into our dark honey color. I'm going to begin by pouring down this one side and then down this side. I'm essentially just going to pour it into all 4 corners of my container. And then also into the middle. I find this really helps get an even color distribution throughout the entire soap. And I've kept some soap in the bucket for me to scrape out and use a little later on. My clear container is now completely full and ready to pour into our large slab mold after this quick commercial break. The large slab mold I am using today is from Workshop Heritage. They are a lovely mold maker with super high quality molds. They're very durable. They've lasted me a good long time already. And they create custom sizes as well. Now I have to scrapey out my big container here. Make sure that none of this soap is going to waste. I am trying to move a little quicker at this point just because the soap is setting up and I want to have enough time to tap it down on the ground so it levels out and none of the bars are significantly bigger than the others. So with the remaining yellow batter, I'm just going to put a smattering on top. I just sort of want to bring that light color up to the very top before I put our faux honey drizzle. I feel like the contrast is going to be very nice. This looks sort of like the vanilla honey that Caleb and I got at Whole Foods that's in our pantry. We don't go to Whole Foods very often, but when we do, Caleb always likes to get a specialty honey. That's kind of like his little thing. Some people like chocolate. Caleb likes honey. So with everything in the mold, it is now time for me to place my bubble wrap. Now, the idea of putting bubble wrap on a honey soap is certainly not new. It has been done many times before me, and it's just sort of a classic way to remind folks that, hey, bees exist. This right here is a honey soap. So I'm going to lay this on top and press it in until I can see the cells getting filled. I know that's kind of nasty, but that's what we gotta do. So I'm just gonna push it in. Now I just cut this strip with regular old scissors, and then I'm placing mine in the corner because of how I want to do my melt and pour drizzle, but if you're not doing a melt and pour drizzle, you could just cut a big strip and place it across the entire top of your soap, and that would look really nice too. In fact, some people who want an even cleaner look place it on the bottom of their molds, and then when it's time to unmold their soap, they flip it upside down, peel the whole thing across, and it's nice and level. Got my last one here. I'm just tapping it in, making sure those corners are poked in as well. It is 30 hours later, so let's unmold our soap. Take this lid off here. Ooh, and it's looking delightful on the inside. So before we can take it out, I've got to put that melt and pour drizzle on top. So we're just going to remove all of the bubble wrap. Last one over here. And it's time to mix up our melt and pour honey drizzle. Now this is my own special concoction of micas and colorants to get that perfect wildflower honey color. Let's melt this down. Here is my melt and pour all ready to go. So I'm going to begin by pouring some on the very edge. I want some of these cells to fill with honey, faux honey. And I'm gonna do this for all of the soaps, just kind of pouring on one edge, filling up some of those cells. I'm gonna tip my container up, let that melt and pour run a little bit. I'm gonna tip it towards me as well. And then for this one, I'm gonna tip it to the side and let a little bit of it run down across the soap. And then with any extra I have, I'm just going to kind of drip it on top like so. And we're gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes, allowing the melt and pour to harden completely before splitting the batch into loaves. Aw, this looks so cute! The only thing I'm gonna change in the future is bringing this honeycomb pattern all the way over here. I thought it might be fun to kind of splatter stuff, but I've decided that the honeycomb texture just cannot be beaten, and it feels so good. I think it'll end up having kind of a like massage quality on the top. So let us line this up with Evangeline. It's very easy to cut soap that has melt and pour on top when there's only a little bit of melt and pour. You obviously can't cut a fully melt and pour soap loaf. So this is what the soap looks like on the inside.
That's horrifying.
Excuse me, it's a horrifying face. So as you can see, this soap design is a little more simple, but the whole point of this soap is mainly the additives and the fragrance. So the design being simple just kind of adds to the natural, elegant look of the bar itself. Also, they smell amazing. So good. And the lather, because of all that sugar, oh my gosh, it's so bubbly and soft and creamy. It's delightful. My soaps are normally pretty bubbly, but this is next level bubbly. Specifically note the size of those bubbles. They're huge. It looks like I've blown them with a bubble wand. Now, these soaps will discolor just a teeny tiny bit more over time because the fragrance does contain vanillin in it, but it's not gonna be a big deal, and it's not gonna change the look of it very much at all. Another really cool feature of this soap is the stamp. For this particular soap stamp, I don't have to pound it in with any mallet. It is very delicate, a little bit of pressing, and voila, you have a perfect stamp that says honey. Now for the question of the day, I want to know, would you guys like to see me using more really unique ingredients like goat's milk, coconut milk, almond milk, pine tar, beers? There's tons of stuff you can put in soap. Do you guys want to learn how to make that or watch me do it? Let me know by clicking the I in the upper right hand corner of the screen. Thanks guys so much for watching. These honey soaps will be available on March 7th, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time at royaltysoaps.com. And remember, this is one of our charity soaps, so a portion of the proceeds are going to go to the Honeybee Conservancy. The Honeybee Conservancy is a public charity that works to help the bees while increasing access to organic, sustainable foods in underserved communities. They do training for aspiring and current beekeepers. They provide the public with a ton of very helpful knowledge about how to work with bees and make a great home for them. And one of my favorite things about this particular charity is their Sponsor a Hive program. The Sponsor a Hive program strategically places buzzing bees in gardens and urban farms that are doing exceptional work to grow fresh produce for schools, soup kitchens, senior citizen centers, and low-income neighborhoods. And by adding bees to these vibrant gardens, fruit and vegetable quality improves and the amount of food grown increases by up to 71%. I love what this charity is doing to meld both humans with our little buzzing bee friends. I felt like this really captured the heart of the Farmers Market collection. To learn more about this awesome charity, be sure to follow the links down below. I'll link their Instagram and their website too. Be sure you do something fun for yourself today, whether that is making a recipe with some local honey. If you are in Texas, you absolutely have to get some of that Sabine Creek honey. It is just Or perhaps if you're a crafter trying out some honey fragrance oils, they smell so good. They're so good, especially the ones from Brambleberry. Can highly recommend. And until next time, have an absolutely royal day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now. Meow. And this is one of our charity soaps, so a portion of the protein.
The protein, yeah.